So if Islam teaches injustices, I should speak against it, correct?
Yes.
Now notice how they all don't want him to talk because he agrees with me. So why is the Quran used to people if they don't understand it?
So they have to learn it, then, innit?
So that's Arabization.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course. So what you heard was a Muslim in London in the 21st century trying to justify a religious apartheid on the basis that some people were not Muslims.
Please don't stay.
I talk against Islam, yeah. What's the problem in talking against Islam?
Because you just, the harmony between the Christian and Muslims living in here.
What about the lack of harmony that exists between Christians in Saudi Arabia or in any state where Islam dominates?
Saudi Arabia has got its own laws.
Well, name me a country where Christians.
Name
me an Islamic country where Christians aren't being persecuted.
What do you mean?
That's my point.
Egypt has got Christians.
And they're persecuted.
Iran has got Christians.
And they're persecuted.
No, they are not.
Yes, they are. Is it illegal to convert to Christianity in Iran?
In Iran, a lot of people convert to Christianity.
I know they do, but they do so illegally. So there is a legal persecution of Christians in Iran.
But, my friend, I'm talking about here.
I am talking about there.
Okay, why you care?
Why do I care?
It makes life harder.
Let me answer.
You're staring so much.
Let me answer. Why do I care? Because
those
those Christians in Iran are my brothers and sisters, and when they're being persecuted by an Islamic regime, then I have a duty to speak out against Islam.
But that Islamic regime has given right to the Christians.
It persecutes Christians. It persecutes Christians.
Where?
In Iran.
In the news?
In Iran. You're lying. You're lying to yourself and you're lying to everyone else.
They are Christian, they are happy.
Oh, Christians are happy in Iran.
Yes.
I've spoken to Iranian Christians. How many Iranian Christians have you spoke to?
A lot.
Right.
They're happy.
So you think they're happy to live in a country where they can be hanged just because they became Christian? You think they're happy? You're lying.
I never heard of
You're
that.
lying to
Somebody
yourself.
to be hanged
Then
because
if you've never heard of it, you're guilty of ignorance. You're ignorant and you're lying.
Preach good. As you say,
Preaching against Sharia law is a good thing. Sharia law is a bad thing. So to preach against Sharia law is a good thing, by definition.
No Islamic country has got Sharia law. Nowhere in
Iran says that it follows Sharia law. Saudi Arabia says that it follows Sharia law. Pakistan says that its laws are derived from Sharia law.
There are no Sharia law.
There's no Sharia law. I agree, Sharia law doesn't work. It's not practiced anywhere.
This is your imagination.
No, your
countries
imagination.
No.
Your imagination is that Christians are not being persecuted. Until Muslims like you can accept that Christians are suffering in the Middle East, it is you that needs to be corrected, not me. Until progressives accept that Christians are being persecuted in the Middle East, they need to be corrected on their ignorance. They need to shut up about Islamophobia.
But you are talking about here.
No,
So
I'm talking about over there.
Over there. Okay. So you are opening the wounds of all these problems over thousands of years ago. Now people started to come together again.
It's happening today.
No, it's not.
It's happening. You're lying. You are lying. Christians are persecuted in Saudi Arabia. Christians are persecuted in Iran. Christians are persecuted in Jordan. Christians are persecuted in Syria. Christians are persecuted in Egypt. Christians are persecuted in Sudan. Christians are persecuted in Afghanistan. You need to accept reality that one of the fruits of your religion is the persecution of Christians. If you don't like that fact, maybe you need to find yourself a better religion.
My friend, because if you are a minority, you got to obey the law and rules of the country. But if, let's say in Sudan there is Christian, but they are separated now. In the south of Sudan is now.
They're still persecuting them in North Sudan.
No.
They are.
And they live
You're lying
together
again.
before they
You're
live-
lying again. You're lying to yourself because you're an ignorant man.
This is
You're an ignorant man who wants to marshal an ignorant argument, and you're doing it because you don't like me pointing out the bad things about Islam.
but I mean you have got a Muslim in here. What they have done to you? What
The
they have done to you?
Islam
Yeah.
teaches the persecution of Christians.
Okay.
Teaches it. So the problem is the Quran and the Hadith. Now, are you a Sunni or a Shia?
Sunni.
You're a Sunni. So let's look at what Sunni Islam teaches about Christianity, and let's see if you think it's right or wrong.
My friend, I don't want to go to that. No, I don't want to because
Oh, suddenly you're shy.
No.
You were so confident that I was wrong,
No.
but now I've got out the
No,
Quran
I'm
to
saying
prove that I'm right.
we cannot
Suddenly
go-
you've lost your
even
confidence.
when we debated, it will be never to conclusion. There will be no conclusion. So I'm saying that.
Yeah, there will be a
At
conclusion.
the end of the day, you're Christian and I'm Muslim, and that's what. That's
And Islam teaches that I should be persecuted under
No.
Sharia law. And that's why it is a good thing to speak against Islam.
That's bad. You see what I'm saying?
Why is it a bad thing?
Come together. And
Why is it a bad thing? Let me use another analogy. Let me use another analogy. Would it be wrong for me to speak against the ideology of the Ku Klux Klan?
But that is not an ideology.
Answer the question.
It's just based on race.
It's an ideology.
Yeah, no.
It's a racial ideology.
It's not revealed from God.
Answer the question.
Islam is different.
Would it be right for me to preach against Nazism, the Ku Klux Klan, and other racial ideologies? Right. So if Islam teaches injustices, I should speak against it, correct?
Yes, yeah.
There we go. So all I need to do now is prove that Islam preaches injustices, and then my preaching against Islam is justified. Agreed? If I can prove that Islam teaches injustice, I can prove that I'm right to speak against Islam, correct?
Yes.
Right, so let's look at what Islam teaches.
I come here 20 years. It's never finished, my friend. You know, you got to accept me that I'm Muslim, and I accept you that you're Christian. You know,
But Islam does not
cannot-
accept the existence of Christianity.
Okay.
It prescribes and discriminates against Christians. Shall I give you an example?
So what is your solution?
The solution
You
is,
say you have got Muslim in here.
Yep.
And are they part of this country?
hey, so here's the solution.
What is the solution?
We need to make sure that Islam does not become a organizing principle in our society, that it doesn't organize our culture, that it doesn't organize our economic systems, that it doesn't organize our political systems, that it doesn't organize our laws.
What about it?
And more so, not only should we make sure that Islam can't do that here, we should change the fact that it does it anywhere in the world.
See that how dangerous that is? So
No, it's a wonderful thing.
Even you don't.
It's an absolutely wonderful thing.
Whatever you say, it is our religion. Can we have it the same things in our land?
You already
In our-
do that.
Huh?
You already do that.
No, that's.
But
But
you object to it when I suggest doing it to you.
No, but you're
And
not-
that's your conscience telling you it's wrong.
But you have got another aim to go there, and you say that you just mentioned it, that you want to go there to implement all these things you said. To
So
the
what?
Muslim countries.
So what you just did? Are you saying that you don't want to see Sharia law here?
No, I say it is up to this country.
Do you want to
This
see
country-
Sharia law here?
Excuse me. This country has given rights to Muslims to live here. So all I'm saying, what is your problem?
Answer the question.
Why you are against them?
The question is not going to go away. Do you want to see Sharia law here?
If this country allow it, it depends to the country.
So do you want to, you see, you're not answering the question. Answer the question. The question won't go away.
Talks about Islam.
Do you
have
want
got the right
Sharia law here?
Maybe he wants to become Muslim.
No.
Answer the question.
We are all
Everyone can see you're not answering the question.
All I understand.
Answer the question.
We are here.
Answer the question.
We are given the right.
Answer the
To
question.
live here, we obey
Answer the
law
question.
Of this country.
Right, and this shows the superiority of man-made laws of the West over Islamic laws. Because man-made laws in the West afford more rights to Muslims in the West than Sharia law affords to Christians in the Muslim world. And you, when I suggested taking away Islam's power to dominate in the Muslim world and here, You objected to it because your conscience is telling you it's wrong. But Islam does that to Christians and you're fine with it. You're okay with it. And that tells you, bro, that you've got cognitive dissonance. Your conscience is telling you one thing, your pride is telling you something else.
Same as, I mean, in this country, that is the way you have to be. You know, we have to sacrifice.
Answer the question.
All I'm saying to the man,
Do you want to see Sharia law here?
problem.
Inshallah. There you go. Right. So let me just deal with that. Do any Muslims agree with him?
Why should there be a Sharia law in this country? Is a majority Christian?
Okay, do you want there to be Sharia law here? If it happens, it happens. So my attitude is, if we can get rid of Sharia law in Saudi Arabia, the world will be a better place. If it happens, it happens. Inshallah. Inshallah, Sharia law will be swept from Saudi Arabia, swept from Pakistan, swept from Iran, swept from Egypt. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with my... No. What's wrong with my attitude?
Before you go to other people's countries.
That's what I'm saying.
Talk about this country now.
So,
We've been locked down.
I want to talk about the fact,
What you like, huh?
based on this brother's comment, about, he asked me, why do I speak against Islam? Islam leads to the persecution of Christians. That is why I speak against Islam. Islam is an inherently unjust system. Where? I'll answer that question. Thank you. You ready? Where does Islam lead to the persecution of Christians? Get pen and paper. Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Jordan, Syria, Egypt, Morocco, Libya, Tunisia, Sudan, Mauritania. Mauritania, or is I'm using the old Roman one? Mauritania.
Have you finished?
No, I haven't. Indonesia, Malaysia, all Nigeria.
Excuse me.
No, Mali.
Are you talking
Wait.
about a guy who never
Have they given you some? Yes.
Have you traveled?
Yes.
Where have you been to? Hold on. Where have you been to?
I'll use Morocco as an example.
Morocco.
I've been to Morocco.
Morocco.
Yeah, I've been to Morocco.
Morocco. Okay. What have you seen in Morocco?
So, in Morocco, it is illegal to become a Christian. It is illegal in Morocco for Christians to practice their faith fully. What?
You don't know.
Yes, and no Moroccans are allowed to set up a church. And no Moroccans are allowed to set up a church. Those churches are for expatriates. You're lying to yourself. You're lying to yourself. And you're ignorant of your own constitution. Thank you.
That's not debate.
Listen. There is not democracy in Morocco. And all Christians, do Christians have their rights restricted? Do Christians have their rights restricted? I know. That's not my question. Now notice how they all don't want him to talk because he agrees with me.
Hold on. Do you know how many? Hold on, sister, please. How many Christians are in Egypt? How many Christians? Hold on.
I'm trying to listen to the lady. No, let her speak.
How many?
Sorry, I'm listening to you. What's your question?
No, I've asked the question.
What's your question?
Ask you the question.
Right, so you're not coming in.
She's asking
Okay,
you.
so let me answer the
How many
question.
million Christians?
Let me answer the question.
Egypt.
Let me answer
What
the
is the population
question.
in Egypt?
Yeah, for me to answer the question, you've actually got to shut up. So, let me answer the question.
That shows your manners.
Let me answer the
You're full of
question.
hate.
Let me answer the
You're not a
question.
Christian.
There are approximately between 11 and 14 million Christians in Egypt. And every single one of them is persecuted by the Egyptian state and by Egyptian society. There are anti-Christian pogroms in Egypt. Christian priests are killed in Egypt. Christian churches are bombed in Egypt. Christians
Hold on a minute.
can't change their identity card to Christian if they were born Muslim. Christians can't marry Muslim women in Egypt. And these people are lying about what is going on in the Islamic world. He's lying, she's lying, he's lying. Go and check for yourself.
Bob needs a pipe. You literally the pipe.
This guy, listen, this guy never been out of London. He doesn't know what
How
he's
do you
talking
know?
about.
How do you know?
Because you tell lies.
No, you're lying.
Egypt,
Right
there
now.
are Christians in government in Egypt. There are Christians in high office in Egypt, in Morocco. Jews, Christians, Muslims live happily together.
No, the Moroccans had to flee. The Jews of Morocco had to flee at the founding of Israel. Millions of them, thousands of them.
Where do you live?
You're lying, you're lying,
I'm not a liar.
and people
I'm
need
not
to
a liar,
break
I'm a
the
lawyer.
lies. Well,
I'm a lawyer.
those two things are synonyms.
Hold on a minute, sir. I feel sorry for you. Hold on. Well, I feel sorry for you because you're with your very tiny brain. You've never been anywhere outside London.
How do you know?
I know because your culture, your knowledge is very.
Where are you from?
I'm from London.
Vale, ahora nosotros hablamos en español, ¿ah?
Hold on a minute, sir.
No. ¿Por qué tú dices a mí, yo no viajo nada país?
Are you mad?
Entonces
you
ahora
mad?
hablas
Are you
conmigo en español,
in your right mind?
porque tú entiendes.
In your right
Él
mind.
entiendes.
You see?
Él dijo, yo no puedo hablar en español porque estoy ignorante.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Yes, Taliban.
Okay.
Taliban is a creation.
Okay,
The CIA
so let's
creation.
see if Islam teaches
What happened to the
discrimination
Muslims
against
in Spain,
Christians.
sir?
Would you like to
What
have that
happened to the Muslims in
conversation?
Spain?
Why do your churches
What
have crosses?
happened
Why
to
do
the
your churches
Muslims
have
in
crosses
Spain?
when you should supposed to have one?
Hold on a minute. What
In your
happened?
own Bible, it
What
says
happened
no.
to
Do you know what deer is? Do you know what deer is?
I ask a question. What happened to the
Do
Muslims
you know
in
what
Spain?
deer is?
We know that. Tell us.
What
What's deer?
happened to the Jews?
Don't tell him. Tell us.
What's deer?
What happened to the Jews who were persecuted
What's
in
deer?
Spain?
You tell us.
Okay, so they've asked me to tell you.
Yes.
That implies that you're going to let me tell you.
Yes, we'll let you.
Right, brilliant. So deer, there you go. Do you see? This is what it's going to be.
Teacher.
So deer is the money that is paid if you kill someone unjustly. Yeah. Right. Am I lying so far? No, I'm telling the truth. Right. So the deer, yeah, you don't know what you're talking about. So the deer, listen,
So arrogant.
listen,
She was baptized.
Listen.
Look at this sister. Look.
listen, listen, listen. No, I have Sahih al-Bukhari.
Allah loves you.
I have Sahih al-Bukhari.
Loves you.
Are you listening? Are you listening?
Baptized wrong. Don't worry.
So the deer,
Bob done you
the
wrong.
blood
Don't worry.
money paid for Christians
You've got
is
baptized
half that of what is paid for a
I
Muslim.
advise you to travel the world because you're tiny.
No,
So your
deer.
brain
It's
is so
connected to the kisas.
tiny. Your brain is
You
so
don't know
tiny.
you don't even know what you're talking about.
You're wrong. You're wrong.
The blood money paid for Christians is half that is paid for a Muslim. Now imagine that we brought in a law today that said if you kill someone who's a Muslim, the value of their life is half that of a non-Muslim. Would you say that that was wrong? You're a lawyer.
My friend,
Answer the question.
listen to me.
Answer
You
the
are here,
question.
You know, a guy like you, right?
Answer
You've
the
been coming to this
question.
bar for 33 years.
Answer the
I know your
question.
profile.
Answer the
People
question.
like this, they come here
Answer
to
the
spread
question.
hatred.
Answer the
You know,
question.
Religion is
Answer
about
the question.
Religion
Answer the question.
He doesn't know what
Answer the question. Answer the question.
Listen,
Answer the question. Answer the
Religion
question.
is about bringing
Answer the
people
question.
together.
Answer the question.
is about
Answer the question.
religion
Answer the question. Answer the question.
the type of
Answer the
people-
question.
They never
Answer
come
the
to
question.
work. Your
Answer the
side-
question. Answer the question. Answer the question. Okay.
You're mad.
As you can see, he doesn't want to answer the question. So maybe
You need to go
another
to
Muslim will answer the
You need to go.
question.
Who let you out of hospital?
Perhaps he will answer the question.
No.
So, answer the question. Bro, let me ask you this question. Let me ask you this question. Or let me ask you. If we passed a law in this country that said the life of you and the life of a Muslimah, in terms of compensation, would be half that of anyone who's not a Muslim, would you say that that is fair or unfair? Unfair. So it is unjust to value the lives of other people as being less than yourselves. But that is what Islam teaches. Sahih al-Bukhari 98350.
What are you talking about?
And it says the legal regulation of diya and the releasing of captives and the judgment that no Muslim should be killed in qisas for killing a kafir. So in other words, if a Muslim kills a Muslim, an appropriate punishment is you take that Muslim's life. But if a Christian is killed by a Muslim, that Muslim's life is never forfeit. So in other words, the value of a Muslim life is higher than a Christian one.
Let me ask you a question.
Another example,
Let me ask you a question.
Abu Dawood 394527.
I've been reading your own
The value of the blood money at the time of the apostles of Allah was 800 dinars or 8,000 dirhams. And the blood money for the people of the book was half that of Muslims. Everyone say half that. Now you said that that was unfair. So is Islam unfair? Is Islam unfair? No, no, no.
I believe you're a true Christian, am I correct?
What?
You're a true Christian.
I'm a Christian.
Okay, yeah. So why do you have in your churches crosses and pictures of Jesus when it clearly states in your Bible that's against the law that Jesus commanded?
Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, please note how quickly he wanted to get off the topic of how unfair his religion is.
people have become Muslims.
Deflection. But I will be courteous and answer his question in any way. Despite the fact, no, I'm answering his question. No, I'm answering his question. So, he has no answer for the unfairness in Islam, though he accepts that it's unfair.
You're saying the hadith, that's different, but half of the money.
So you reject the hadith?
Well, some of them are.
Do you reject them?
Some of them, yes. Not all of them are true.
All the ones that are embarrassing, we know.
No. That's different ones. All of these are like written 200 years.
So what about the ones that come from Sahih al-Bukhari?
Even those are written after.
So you reject some of those?
No, not some of them. I'll accept some of them. Yeah.
Do you reject some of them?
No.
So you don't reject some of them?
No, Sahih al-Bukhari.
Right.
If it doesn't make sense, yes, I will reject
Okay,
it.
so let me point out something that comes from Sahih al-Bukhari.
Answer this question I asked you now.
Yes,
Why
I
do
will.
you have crosses on
I will,
your
but I'm
churches
not going to get
and
off the point.
Pictures of Jesus.
I'm not going to get off the
When
point.
you're supposed to have that.
So, the brother doesn't know what the Old Testament teaches.
What does that teach?
So I'm going to tell you.
Two people have become
In one of the
Muslims.
commandments, it teaches that you shall not make any graven image on anything on earth or anything above the heaven.
Why in the churches do you have
You've got
that?
to listen to an answer if you want an answer. So you've got to listen. So, do not make graven images of anything on the earth, anything above the earth, or anything in the seas under the earth. And do not bow down and worship them. In the very same book, brother, in the very same book given by the very same prophet, God commands the making of images on the Ark of the Covenant in the temple. What was forbidden,
What verse?
I'll show you. What was forbidden was the bowing down and worshipping the images, not the creation of images. Now, I'm not going to get distracted from our conversation. I will show you the verses after we finish talking about this. You have admitted that you think it would be fair if we valued the lives of Muslims as half that of non-Muslims. You said that. Unfair.
But it doesn't say in the Quran.
Says it in the hadith. Listen.
But what hadith?
Sahih al-Bukhari 98350. Sahih al-Bukhari 13111.
What does that
Sahih
say?
al-Bukhari 4 52:283. This is what it says. That the regulations concerning the diya and the releasing of captives and the judgment that no Muslim should be killed in qisas. You know what the concept of qisas is? It means measure for measure in punishment. So if I steal 50 quid, I give 50 quid back. If I, a Muslim, kill you as a Muslim, your family can have me executed for killing you as a Muslim. That's qisas. But listen to what it says.
Blood money, no.
Listen to what it says. But no Muslim should be killed in qisas for killing a kuffar. So in other words, if a Muslim kills a non-Muslim, he can't be punished in the same way as if he killed someone who was a Muslim. So that means the value of the non-Muslim is half that of the Muslim.
That's not in the Quran, but that's in the Hadith.
You agree? It's unfair.
It's unfair. I agree with that.
Do you use the Hadith to interpret the Quran?
No.
You don't?
No.
So you're a Quran-only person?
Quran only person. So
Okay.
you use the Hadith to as a kind of a guide, but the Quran is there and it was God's word. So the Hadith is not God's word. It's a human interpretation.
Okay, let me ask you this question, another question. If we followed a public policy of humiliating Muslims, would you say that that was fair or unfair?
Public policy of who?
The government. If the government followed...
UK government.
Yes, if the UK government followed public policy of humiliating Muslims, would that be fair or unfair?
But the UK has allowed the Muslims to build the
Answer the
mosques. They allowed the
question.
Muslims so many mosques. So they're
That's not an
humiliating
answer
them.
to the question.
They actually
It's
even
not
raising
an
them
answer
up
to
in
the
bar.
question. Now answer the question.
But they're not humiliating Muslims. How
You're
do
not
you
answering the question.
What if they're about to humiliate Muslims?
So you did hear the question.
If the government wants to humiliate Muslims,
So you did hear the question. Now answer it.
but they're not humiliating. So I mean, it's not fair.
No.
It wouldn't be fair. It wouldn't be fair.
Let's
It wouldn't be fair. I don't know
It
what-
wouldn't be fair. So it wouldn't be fair.
If the government humiliates Muslims, it wouldn't be fair.
If the BNP got into power and started humiliating Muslims at every
They've never
turn...
gone to power, have they?
No, if they did, you've got to listen. If they did, would it be unfair to do that?
If they vote, if the public
Would it be
vote,
Islamophobic?
it wouldn't be Islamophobic.
It would be Islamophobic. Now listen to your Quran. Surah 9, verse 29. Fight against those who believe not in Allah nor in the last day, nor forbid that which has been forbidden by Allah and His Messenger, until they pay the jizya with willing submission and feel themselves subdued.
Yep.
The word subdued can also be translated as humiliated.
Because
So if we did it to the Muslims, it would be wrong. Is it wrong when the Quran
unbelievers,
says do it?
It's not wrong. Why?
It's not wrong.
Because the unbelievers
wrong.
are those that are not that do not believe in a God. So the
So that makes it
unbelievers
okay.
Are those that are committing all sorts of.
So that
crimes.
makes it okay.
Why would they? Of course, that would make it okay.
That would
because
make it okay.
We want to lower the unbelievers.
So there you go.
God, He rules the earth. Do you rule on me or God? God
Right.
rules it. It's His law. It's not
So let
my
me
law.
reply
It's
to
not
that.
His law, His law.
Let me
It's
reply
God's
to
law.
that.
So
Listen.
God-
Listen. Listen.
They have all them pockets.
Bro, do you want to talk to him or to me? So listen.
That's the reason why. They have all those pockets in Libya.
I'm going to make a point and you're going to miss it. Bro, listen.
It's unbelievers.
Listen.
Anyone, Asian.
Listen.
Listen to him.
Your Quran says, I want you to shout these words. These words. Among the people of what?
Scriptures.
Scriptures. Who are they?
Jews and Christians.
Jews and Christians.
So fight against.
So it's not just talking about pagans, it's talking about Jews and Christians.
Fight against those who
So
believe
what
not.
you heard was a Muslim in London in the 21st century trying to justify a religious apartheid on the basis that some people were not Muslims. But if we do it to the
You don't
Muslims,
believe in the last
it's
day.
Islamophobia.
No, it says not believe in the last day. Christians believe in last day. Jews believe in last
So
day.
you can discriminate against
I
atheists.
can't tell who's an atheist and who's not.
Now notice how
am
he's
I supposed-
equivocating.
How am I supposed to tell who's an atheist and who's not?
So, the reality is, you just tried to hear him.
No.
Some fight.
I know exactly who is the one.
Who? Who's it going to be?
The Shia brother.
Who?
The bee who comes.
Oh, the cheer guy.
That's all the answer, yeah?
Without going there, I know. I haven't even seen it, but I know.
So that's what I'm saying. Disbelievers. So whoever this, I can't tell who's an atheist or not. What do atheists do? They're the ones that
Listen
commit
to yourself.
crimes. All
What's
of
your
you
name?
Elias.
Ilyas, just listen to what you're saying.
Yeah, but
no, listen to what you're saying. Right? Now I'm going to say your exact words, but I'm just going to replace unbeliever with Muslim. And tell me if you agree with it.
But if you're
Tell me if you agree with it.
But if
Oh, I don't agree with
if
it.
this country is a Christian
Bro,
country,
you've just hung your own religion.
No, I haven't hung it.
You've just hung your own religion.
If this is a Christian country,
I don't have to respect this religion. It's not worthy of respect.
But your queen respects it. She has allowed us to build so many mosques.
Ilyas,
She's allowed
I
us to live in a
can,
country
and Muslims
to
don't,
pray.
and Muslim societies do not afford equal rights to Christians.
I don't believe that.
Well, you need to go and do your research because you're as ignorant as everyone else in the park.
But why don't you raise this question
It says
in
if
your
they
own
do not
government?
believe,
I do.
You're just blaming Muslims.
I do. No,
No,
I blame
no,
Islam.
no, you don't.
I blame Islam.
what has Islam
I
done to you?
blame Islam.
Iran is Islamic
I
Republic.
blame
and it has got
Islam.
its own
Did
law.
you hear that? I blame Islam. Did you hear that?
I
Muslims
said,
came to
Did you hear
Spain,
that?
when Muslims came
Did
to
you
Spain,
hear
Excuse me.
that? Did you hear that?
But
I blame Islam. Who
Islam-
do I blame?
Islamic Republic
Who
of
do I
Iran
blame?
is
Who
a
do I
country.
blame? Who
It
do
has
I
got
blame?
its own law.
Who do
You
I
gotta
blame?
respect that.
Who do I blame?
Who?
Who do I blame?
I don't know.
You see, he wasn't even listening. Wasn't even listening.
Stupid question.
Who did I blame?
Came to Spain.
Who did I
They
blame?
introduced
Who did I
a
blame?
whole
Who did I blame?
But this is our
Who did I blame?
religion.
The Quran.
He wasn't listening
The
either.
Quran, the
The
Quran.
Quran, exactly. I blame Islam.
But the Quran says
But that's
those-
our book.
It's
That's our book.
unbelievable.
Yes,
Nothing to do
your
with
book is
Are you an
terrible.
unbeliever?
Stop following it.
Excuse me. Are you an
Your book is
unbeliever?
awful.
If I
Stop
calculate
following it.
the majority-
Your book is unjust. Stop
Are you an
following
unbeliever?
it. Your book is
According to
contradictory.
you.
Stop following it.
But are you an unbeliever?
I'm a Christian.
But is that, so you're not an unbeliever.
I'm a
Do you
Christian.
believe in the last day?
Yes.
That's it. So you're equal. So you're not.
And what about the
It's not you.
atheists?
The atheists are different
I disagree.
because the atheists do
I
not
disagree.
believe. They don't believe.
I disagree.
But you can't tell who's
I
an
disagree.
atheist and who's not.
I defend the right of the atheist to be
Of
treated
course,
as my
we defend the life
equal.
of every human.
Except the
It doesn't say-
unbeliever.
it-
Accept the unbeliever by your own
But
argument.
who's the unbeliever?
Exactly, the
But those-
atheist.
Yeah, but so how can you?
So you think it's
how
okay to
can you
humiliate
identify
atheists?
How can you
So you
identify
think it's
atheists?
okay to humiliate
But you
atheists?
can't tell the difference.
Answer the question.
No, but the thing is,
No.
How can you
So now you
identify an
disagree with
atheist?
your Quran.
How can you identify an atheist?
So you disagree with your
How
Quran?
can you identify an atheist?
You identify an atheist because they say they don't believe in God.
That doesn't mean you're gonna straight kill them. No way.
No, who
That
talked
doesn't
about
say
that?
Yes, that's what
He
you're
said
saying.
humiliate.
Yeah, humiliate them.
So there you
that
go.
they can-
Yeah, humiliate them.
So that they
You're
can-
arguing to
in the
humiliate
majority-
a whole group of people.
In the majority Muslim country, of
You-
course, you'll be humiliated because.
Oh, there we go. In a
They'll be-
majority
they're not
Muslim country,
They're
of
not-
course they will be humiliated.
Because people look at them and say they're not praying
And
to
that's
God.
why Islam is a problem.
not.
Because it leads people to say such things. But I'm a Christian and I can offer you something better. Listen, here's what I offer you, a something better. You just heard him say it. Of course, in a Muslim majority country, atheists would be humiliated. Christians, listen, Christians believe that every human being is made in the image of God.
That's what we believe too.
We are given that image prior to any religion, prior to any ethnicity, and their dignity is based upon that image.
Yes.
In other words,
We believe only
you
in the
cannot,
Bible. We believe it.
you
I believe-
cannot justify humiliating people because they believe differently from you. You have to reference and revere and respect the image of God wherever it is and in whoever it is. Any race, any religion, any philosophy. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why Christianity and following Jesus is better than following Muhammad and following Islam.
But you're not following Jesus properly. Do you bow down your head on the floor?
Yes,
Why do you have
I did it
crosses?
today in church,
Great stuff. Good for you. Good for you.
and loads of Christians do it. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Well, now you know something.
How many times a day do you put your?
Do you
how many
respect?
pray?
Every time I pray.
Excuse me.
How many? Like, how many times do you put your?
I try to pray every 3 hours.
That's good.
Anyway,
So,
How many times do you
we
pray?
don't have any issues with Christians.
How
We
many
don't
times
have
do you
any
pray?
issues. 5 times.
5 times. You need to up a game. You're a bit behind.
We can we can pray more. We can pray even up 14 times, as in like extra praise. But as not, I'm not at that age to pray 14 times. Maybe him,
Countries-
or someone older, because they probably.
But bro, this childish kind of argument that says I pray more than you.
No, it's not about
It's
more
a
praise.
childish
No,
argument.
There's a standard.
It's a childish argument.
It's not about-
Oh, we're better than you because we pray more than
It's
you.
not about better or worse. That's the difference between an
No,
unbeliever
it
and
is
a non-
about
a
better
believer
and
a
worse.
non-believer. That's the difference.
It is about better and worse because prayer needs to come from the heart.
Yeah, of course.
It needs to come from the mind. And that's why Christians pray in their own language. But Muslims have to pray in Arabic. And most Muslims don't even know Arabic. So how can their prayers be sincere if they don't know what they're saying?
But why would you pray if you're not sincere?
Do you know what you're saying?
Yeah, why would you pray if you're not sincere about the prayer?
Because
Muslims
in
don't
Islam, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to suggest there aren't sincere Muslims that pray. I'm not saying that. I know that there are lots of sincere Muslims that pray. But what I'm saying to you, bro, is that there are many Muslims who simply go through the motions.
And they don't understand. Listen, there's many Muslims, they don't understand the Quran. They don't understand
Why
what
not?
they're reading
Why not?
because they probably haven't been taught, or they're just following blindly.
It's because the Quran. We can stop shouting now. It's because the Quran's in Arabic.
No, there's translation for it. There's translation for it.
Is this translation the Quran?
It is a.
Answer the question.
It is a close translation to the true meaning of
Is it the Quran?
The translation
Is it the
is
Quran?
not the Quran.
The translation
It's a
is not
translation.
the Quran.
So what
So
we
in
have-
other words, the only way that you can know what your God is telling you is if someone who is an Arab tells you. And that's
You can't
Arabization.
understand the translation of it. That's one way you can understand it. For those that don't speak Arabic, but for those that speak it, it makes it easier for
But
them.
this isn't the Quran.
Look in any country now, children that are 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, they read the Quran by heart, like memorize the by heart.
Bro.
That's a miracle of the Quran in
No,
itself.
that's not a miracle
It
at
is a
all.
miracle.
There are Christians that have recited and able to recite entire liturgies.
I've never
It
heard of
means
that.
nothing. Well, you don't know anything about Christianity, bro. Maybe you need to learn. I can recite things. Do you want to see? Confitio Deo omnipotenti et vobis fretre que peccavi cogitatione et omissione mea culpa mea culpa mea culpa mea maxima culpa Ideo preco Mariam Surgeinem Virginem et angelos et sanctos et vos fretres.
Look, the Quran,
1 second.
The Quran is written.
Did you understand what I said?
I didn't understand.
Was it
I didn't
any use
enjoy
to
it.
you?
I didn't
Was it
enjoy
any use to
It was
you?
no use to me.
So why is the Quran used to people if they don't understand it?
So they have to learn it then, innit?
So that's Arabization.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, of course.
History started
Yeah, of
from-
course. That's Arabization.
History started from Arabia.
Thank you.
History started
So
there.
I'm
Where
offering.
was the first letter written?
So I'm-
Civilization,
I'm-
Mesopotamia.
no,
of course.
so I'm-
that's when you go back to history.
I'm inviting you to a better religion. I'm inviting you to a better religion.
I'm
A
already
religion,
worshipping- I'm already
a
worshipping the God
religion,
you're talking about.
a religion that does not require you to Arabize or follow any other ethnos. You can
Let
have
me
your
tell you
own
something about
ethnos
the Quran.
and your
Also,
own culture.
One, of course, every Muslim has his own culture, whether he's Asian, black, white, whatever it is, but you only follow what is written in the Quran. So you can still be English. How many English Muslims have you seen? How many,
How many
Caribbean? How
Arab
many
Christians have you
Asian?
seen?
I've not seen many. That's I'm going to be
I've
honest.
seen plenty.
I've not seen many. But let me tell you something about miracle about the Quran. The way it is
There's no
written,
miracle in the Quran.
It is a miracle. The way
There's
it is
no
written is written melodically and it's written easy to remember. So God makes it easy to remember for those. And he's telling the Arabic language doesn't mean
It's not a
that he's
miracle.
favored the Arabs.
That's
It's
not a
just-
miracle.
It is a miracle.
It's not a
Tell me
miracle.
any other book that people just memorize it, 8-year-olds.
It's not a miracle.
I don't know any other books that 8-year-olds
not a
memorize it
miracle.
by heart.
This is simpleton's logic. It's simpleton's logic that just to say that human beings do something like memorization, that is somehow some kind of miracle.
So let me-
One second. That's no miracle at all.
isn't
And
a
neither
miracle.
is
It's a
the
miracle.
idea of beauty. Beauty is a completely subjective thing.
Yeah.
I could say that my paintings are the most beautiful paintings in the world, and they
According to you.
capture them
According to you.
exactly according to you. the only people that think the Arabic of the Quran is a beautiful book are those who are Muslim.
I don't speak Arabic.
I've heard the
Let me
Arabic
tell you this, let me tell you
Quran,
this.
and there's nothing beautiful about it.
I don't speak Arabic. I learned Arabic, and I realized the beauty of it because I used to read in English, but when I learned Arabic,
I've heard the
I
Arabic,
see the beauty of it.
and that proves my point. It's subjective. You think it is, I think it isn't. Therefore, it is not a miracle. It is just an opinion.
But let me tell you, if the
And
Quran wasn't sent,
here's what
hold on, if
it gets worse for you. Shall I tell you how it gets worse? Because the Quran claims the fact that it is imitable is a sign of its miraculous nature. That means that the so-called all-wise, all-knowing God based one of the claims of his book on an argument that everyone can see is subjective and didn't even know he was working to a logical fallacy. Allah didn't know he was working to a logical fallacy when he claimed that the Quran was beautiful and no
He
one
didn't
could
claim
imitate
it, but
it.
it says it made it easy to remember in the Arabic language.
Show me.
This is why you have 8-year-olds
Show me,
memorizing it.
show me.
It says easy to remember in the Arabic language.
Shall I show you?
How
come we made so many mistakes then?
Yeah.
What mistakes?
It's full of
Point out what?
mistakes.
Point out what?
Noah had 3 sons.
Yes.
According to the Quran, he had 4.
Where does it say?
In there.
Where?
In there.
What verse? Show me.
And according to
Show
the
me.
Quran,
Show me.
one of them drowned. After spending 100 years building the ark.
Right,
One of-
brother, let me, uncle, please. So, wait. I want to show you that you don't know your Quran.
If the Quran wasn't sent,
I'm going to read you.
Let me just say one thing.
Go on then, and then I'll reply.
If the Quran wasn't sent at that time, what do you think the Arabs would have been doing now?
Okay.
They'll be worshipping they'll be still pagan.
No, they would have been Christian.
They wouldn't be Christians.
They would have been Christian.
They're worshipping idols.
So, brother, uncle, please. So, let me just show you that this guy doesn't know his Quran as much as he thinks he does. Because here's what the
I'm not an
translation
expert, I'm not
says.
an expert, but
We
go on.
know that you're not an expert. Let's actually look at what the Quran says. And I'm going to demonstrate that this is yet another error in the Quran. Another error. On top of all the other errors. Okay? So, as you heard earlier in the conversation, this brother said he heard the Quran and he thought it was beautiful.
Yes,
And I
it's
said,
beautiful, it's beautiful.
I heard the
It's
Quran
beautiful.
and I heard nothing beautiful about it.
It's beautiful.
However, the Quran says this. Say if mankind and jinn were together to produce alike this Quran,
They can't
they
produce
could
it.
not produce
Exactly.
thereof,
Exactly.
even if they help one another.
Exactly.
That claim is completely subjective. It is not an objective claim. It's totally and it's based on subjective reasoning. And if it's based on subjective reasoning, it is non-provable. It is an error.
It's a challenge.
Allah
Why don't
is
you put this
working
one?
to a
Why
false
don't you
logic.
produce one?
He is working to a logical fallacy.
So why don't you produce a similar verse in the
It
Quran?
has been done.
How? If you do a similar verse, people
It
can tell
has
this is a
been
fake
done.
Quran. People will tell straight away. It's
It
not part
has
of the
been
Quran.
done, and that's a purely subjective argument.
It has been done. What verse?
It
People
has been
memorize
done.
The whole Quran. If you mention one verse that's wrong, someone will jump and say, "Look, that's a wrong verse."
You don't even understand the argument that the Quran's making, bro.
It's a challenge to even in the Arabic language.
And
it's
that
written.
challenge has been met numerous times
Fake-
by
fake-
numerous
fake
poets,
people, fake
by
people.
numerous composers, in numerous languages.
Next week, I'll come out
Shakespeare.
here and I'll
I
give
would
you
put
100
Shakespeare up against the
mistakes in
Quran.
100.
You can
I would
calculate-
put the Psalms against the
You can
Quran.
calculate the age of the universe from the Quran.
Prove to me,
You can calculate the
prove
age of
to
the
me
universe from the Quran.
that Psalm 23 in the Bible is less beautiful than the Quran.
Wonderful.
What? It's written in Hebrew. No, I don't speak Hebrew.
So how do you know it's wonderful? How do
So
you
in
know
other words, in other words, he has no reason. He has no reason. I'll compare the English to the Arabic.
No, you can't compare orange and apple.
You can't compare orange and
Do you believe in
apples.
Muhammad? Do you believe Muhammad is
So
a
I'll
prophet?
compare Psalm 23 in Arabic to the Quran. Now what are you going to
Do you
say?
believe in Muhammad as a prophet? Do you believe?
No, we're going to do the Arabic Psalm 23. Arabic Psalm 23 against the Quran. Prove to me I'm wrong.
Read something.
Prove to me I am wrong. Prove to me I am wrong.
He receives satanic verses.
Prove to me I'm wrong. Can you prove to me I'm wrong?
Salman Rushdie.
You see, you weren't even listening, as always. Yeah, I know you don't listen. I know you don't listen. But you know what you do, bro? No. No, you're going to answer a question to get a question answered.
Ask him.
So,
Ask him.
No, just a minute. Come on, man.
would you say that the Hebrew of the Torah is as beautiful or more beautiful than the Quran? He's walking away, but he would say that the Torah is more beautiful. I would say Shakespeare is more beautiful than the Quran. I would say Shakespeare translated into Arabic is more beautiful than the Quran. Oh, there you go, he admits it. He admits it. It's subjective. So that means that Allah is making a subjective argument. He's admitted that Allah is making a subjective argument, which means that Allah is making a logical fallacy. Thank you. Now you've helped me win, you can ask your question.
People used to work.